Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show was last night's hit against Odell Beckham Jr. dirty. Plus, Vince Young joins the show to reflect on his football career. And Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson breaks down the NFL's best running backs. We've got a packed show today. Skip, Shannon, let's debate. But let's get started with Odell Beckham's rough night. Odell was hit hard in the knee after making a catch in the second quarter of last night's game by Browns defensive back Breon Body Calhoun. Beckham limped off the field and left the game with a sprained ankle. The Giants said x-rays came back negative on his ankle and for concussion. After the game, Beckham said he thinks he'll be all right, and he later tweeted, "Thank you," with a praying emoji. Shannon, what was your reaction to the play?
Skip, I'm glad he tweeted that because I do follow Odell, and I saw that he tweeted that. Yeah,
who don't you follow?
Stop it, Skip.
No, seriously.
Shout your boy out.
You follow like 19,000 people?
Shout your boy out, Odell.
Okay.
I got you. And I'm glad to see that he's okay because it could have been a lot worse. But, Skip, this was a Bush League play. This was a dirty play. This was a dirty play. The safety had an opportunity to make a play. He didn't have to hit him high. So, well, I don't want to hit him in the head because I'll get fined. And Skip, this is Bush League. You tell me, Skip, did you know I was an all-area defensive back in high school?
I did not know.
I
know that.
I was an all-area defensive back and an all-state tight end. Good, had skills, Skip.
And you averaged 7.7 tackles per game.
I don't know. Like used to call you boy the hit man. Okay. But anyway, Skip, you tell me the defensive drill. I want a defensive coach or the defensive or the defensive coordinator that shows me the tackling drill where he has the DB to get on one knee, aim for a guy's knee, and hit him in the knee with his forearm and shoulder. Can you tell me the drill, Skip? I played a long time. That was dirty. Skip, I'm not saying he's
I think every drill would teach that.
No.
Yes.
There's no drills that you get on one knee, aim for a guy's knee, and try to bring him down. Skip, he had plenty of time. I'm not saying he's dirty because there's not enough body of work, but that was a dirty play. That was a Bush League play. And in the football, Skip, we try to go out, at least I did. If there was a play I could make without injuring the guy or attempting to injure him, those were the plays I made. Skip, you're playing not a contact sport. Football, at its highest form, professional, is a collision sport. You're asking big men to run into bigger men at a high rate of speed. Some things are unavoidable. But if you can avoid a dangerous play, you should avoid that play at all costs. Skip, this was Bush League. This was a dirty play. Nobody can convince me otherwise through my 14 years of playing it and watching it basically all my life. This was a Bush League play. This was a dirty play. I'm glad he's okay. But in saying all that, that still had nothing to do with the way they performed offensively last night either.
We'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to convince you this was not a dirty play.
Okay.
In fact, it's as far from a dirty play as you can get. And for the record, Jerry Austin, who now works as an ex-referee in the ESPN Monday Night booth, had no problem with the hit. John Gruden, obviously, who works in the booth, had zero problem with the hit.
They're looking at it legally. I'm not saying nothing about legally. Was it a legal play? Yes, it was legal. Dirty and legal are two different things.
Okay, Ben McAdoo had no problem with it.
It wasn't his knee.
Well, it's his star. It's the guy who wants to be paid the most of any player in the National Football League. That's how great this kid is. But the story on ESPN.com that's currently running is why the hit on Beckham was perfectly legal, and I'm with it perfectly legal because all I've heard about over the last, say, 3 NFL seasons is CTE and concussions. Is that not all we hear about?
Yes.
Do we not talk about it every other day on this show? So the new mantra for defensive players is, when in doubt, go lower, right? Because Odell was the classic defenseless receiver. He's going up for the ball, so he's starting to catch the ball, and he has not obviously secured the ball and started to make a football play, started to run with the ball. So he's defenseless, but that's only if he gets hit in the neck or up in the head region, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so now we're back to, what do you want, Mr. Sharpe? Do you want flag football? Do you want two-hand touch football? I don't know. What do you want the DB to do? He can't anticipate exactly how Odell's going to come down because Odell's pretty dangerous, wouldn't you say? Didn't he beat my Cowboys slipping by Barry Church and company, and he was gone to the house, right? It was 10-7, right?
I guess he didn't get taken to church.
He didn't on that one. Barry Church now in Jacksonville. How are you, Barry? But the point is that he can break away. He can take it the distance. So you have to go up and secure him as best you can. Well, you can't hit him in the head, and anything sort of quasi-high is probably going to draw a flag, especially on poor little Odell.
What about his waist?
Well, how can you it's a split-second timing play. You just go low. The whole idea is go low, 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 low. And again, I thought early on, and we used to talk about this on the old show with my friend Ryan Clark, is there going to be a new spate of knee injuries because of defensive backs being taught to go lower, lower, lower? Well, there hasn't been. The stats show you there hasn't been more knee injuries since the defenseless player rules came in and you can't target up high, right? So I don't know what else you can teach. Here's a guy who's a second-year player out of Minnesota, undrafted. He's just trying to get Odell down. What's the best way to get him down, quote unquote, legally? Just get him around the ankles, hit him low, take his feet out from under him. And unfortunately for Odell, he came down on one leg, which was planted briefly, but then his shoes sort of came out from under, or we might be having a different conversation, because I thought early on what was in jeopardy the most was the knee. And then we started hearing right away it's the ankle, which I couldn't really understand because it looked like a potential classic knee injury.
Well, I had a very similar situation happen to me in Super Bowl 33, Skip. I caught a slant pass on one side, and Ed McCaffrey was on the other side, and DB slid off him. Ray Buchanan slid off him, and as I'm turning up, because the safety hit me in the chest, I bounced off him, cut past the linebacker, and here come Ray Buchanan and slices me. Skip, legal and dirty are two different things. Something can be legal and be dirty in Bush League. I believe, having played this game as long as I have studied and covered this game as long as I have, he could have made the exact same, he could have gotten Odell on the ground by wrapping him up. He was there in plenty of time. Skip, he starts going down at the angle at Odell's knee 3 steps into it. He could have just ran right through Odell, grabbed him around his waist, and thrown him down. See, Jerry Austin says legally. John Gruden said legally. Okay, let me ask you a question. The hit that Warren Sapp put on Chad Clifton was perfectly legal. But what did everybody say, Skip?
Okay, but that's the. But what? No, don't give me that. Okay, that was the spirit of it. It's a broken. Was it not a broken play?
No.
Was it not? It was.
No.
It was an interception.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. It's a broken play. It's a what do you call it? A sudden change.
Can I ask you a question?
Sudden change.
Could Chad Clifton have made the play?
Does Chad Clifton for a living tackle people?
Oh, Skip, nope. I just
he doesn't. All of a sudden, he was turned into a defender.
Skip.
He doesn't do that. Running downfield after somebody.
That's what happens when somebody has the ball.
Okay, that's spirit.
Oh, that's my point. The spirit. Thank you.
Within the rules, it allowed Warren Sapp to headhunt, and that's what he did. He headhunted Chad Clifton.
Was the play legal? Yes or no? Was the spirit?
Okay, but Warren Sapp had a moment to draw a bead and make a choice, a conscious choice of, I think I'm going to go cheap shot him. Okay?
Oh, so the safety here.
This is bang bang. You got to decide where you're going to hit him. Where are you going to hit him? How are you going to take him down? Again, the new mantra is, when in doubt, go lower. Lower. What do you want?
And Sapp was taught since the very first day, anybody can make a tackle once your defensive guy has the ball running.
But that's a whole different issue.
How?
That's a spirit of the rules issue.
Okay, this is the spirit of the rule issue.
No, it's not. This is the rule. This is what you want to do.
No, it's not.
Protect the head at all costs. No more CTE. Am I right?
Skip.
Go low. Go for the ankle.
Skip,
he hit him at the ankles. I don't know what else you could ask for.
Skip, the only reason he hit him, he aimed for his knee, Skip. You see the guy put his forearm. You got to go, Skip. You got to try. If I guarantee you, if I'm running, you can't hit me in my knee or my ankle. You have to aim where you think I'm going to be. And you look at him. Look at him. He's looking at the guy. He's on one knee.
It's drilled into the DBs. You have to go low, right?
Skip.
So how can you teach? You're against the most dangerous receiver in pro football, and you say at the last second, this is split-second decision making. Let's see. I think I'm going to, wait, let me try to wrap him up around the right waist. But what if he catches the ball and comes down and slouches and you hit him up into the shoulder pads and neck area by accident?
Skip.
It's bang, bang.
It's not.
You have to go low.
It's
a legal play in a dangerous game.
Okay, so Sap play was legal. It was a legal play in a dangerous game.
That was premeditated, where you have time to make a choice. He did not have time.
So in other words, you're saying Warren Sapp woke up that morning saying, if my defensive guy intercepts the ball, I am going to go headhunt one said Chad Clifton. Is that what you mean by premeditation?
I mean, Warren Sapp had a high football IQ, and he knew as soon as the play shifted and all of a sudden he became the offensive player, which is rare, it doesn't happen very often, that he was able to process quickly, I got a chance here to clean somebody's clock. And I'm going to get that guy I'm across from, Chad Clifton. I'm going to go, I'm going to hit him, I'm going to blindside him and cold cock him.
Sapp was trying to get, because it's a big thing. The way Sapp and the Tampa defense and the Seahawks and the Broncos defense and the Ravens function, you get credit. It's merits. You trying to turn turnovers into points. We're not going to try and set you up with good field position. We're going to do the dirty work. We took the ball away. We're going into the end zone. Sapp play was legal. So if you're going to say Sapp play was legal, but
it's like hitting a kicker on a punt return or
is he on the football field? Is he on the football field?
Okay, all right.
He got a helmet shoulder pad?
All right, that's
he
fine.
He collect the check?
Okay, then that's fine. Okay, I'm not going to scream about it on Warren Sapp's part.
You weren't. You just about the spirit.
This play's going to happen 1,000 times in the regular season, and it's never going to get flagged because it's the only way to protect the head, and that's all anybody cares about.
I guarantee you, other than his teammates, you poll every other DB, you poll every other wide receiver, and you ask them, was this a Bush League or dirty play?
All right, let's poll every DB, and they'll say no, no, no. Now, maybe his teammates will.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just said that's what I said. His teammates.
Oh, okay.
Teammates are always
going
to
protect each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, and receivers are always going to protect receivers, and you're a receiver.
But ask the DBs or just ask DBs from other teams. What did Landon Collins say?
He's on his. Isn't he a Giant?
Okay.
Isn't he a friend of Odell's?
Okay.
Sure, he's going to say that.
No.
Yeah. What did the rest of the Browns DB say? It's the way we're taught. Huh?
Well, that explains why they don't do a good job tackling. That's why their defense is bad then. Because if they're taught to tackle like that, yes, absolutely, 1,000%.
Well, I know what he would have liked to have done is just hit him up high and knock him down.
Yeah, I would like to see him grab him around his waist and throw him down. I believe that he took 3-4 steps, aiming for his knee when he could have took those same amount of steps and put his shoulder pads or his helmet in Odell's back. That's what I believe. I believe this was Bush League. I believe it was dirty. I believe it could have been avoided. And if you can avoid an injury, or let me put it like this, if you can avoid causing an injury, sometimes injuries are unavoidable because you got men playing at a high rate of speed colliding. Sometimes they're unavoidable. But when an injury can be avoided, you should try to avoid it at all costs.
And I think you're just being overprotective of Odell Beckham Jr. because you picked the Giants to win the NFC and get to the Super Bowl, and so you were afraid that your man was going down. And I thought for a moment, boy, that looks pretty scary what just happened. So what did Odell do? Let's go through the process here. He gets up and he starts to jog, and I think, he's fine. But then he gets to the sideline and he starts to, he's a little gimpy. He's a little gimpy.
He laid down.
I know, he threw his helmet. Yep. I thought that was a penalty, but I guess they're going to let him get away with that one.
He was hurt.
He was hurt. Then he glares over at the Browns.
Yeah, okay, why would he do that, Skip?
I know, yeah, because he's scared.
Oh,
and then what happens? Uh-oh, wait a minute. It's like somebody who gets rear-ended in a car crash, and all of a sudden they're going, ooh, my neck.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, I know you do, yeah. Oh, my neck hurts. Oh, my neck hurts. And Odell's saying, oh, wait a minute. My leg's a little gimpy here. But then he runs off, and it looks like he was actually jogging. He runs up the tunnel. But the camera, the ESPN camera, follows him up the tunnel. And then what happens at the end of the tunnel? He goes fetal. He goes down into the fetal position.
He should have pulled his pants down.
He's got his head on the concrete. And it looks like he's bawling his eyes out because his season is over.
He ain't bawling his eyes out. Stop making it up.
Season's over. What's happening? I'm thinking, gee, this must be really bad. But then we hear he's being evaluated for a concussion. Wait a minute. The guy hit him at the ankles and it's a concussion? I don't get that.
Stop adding yeast to the story.
Am I not? That's what they said. That's what they said. And then all of a sudden, he's being x-rayed, not for his knee, but his ankle. So he couldn't even figure out, was it his knee or his ankle? He wasn't sure. So it was his ankle. Let's get that
It
X-ray.
was hurt.
Oh, it was hurt. But then it comes back clean as a whistle. And the next thing I know, Odell is out on the sidelines in street clothes. And I assume they're from the Odell special edition clothes, right?
Skinny,
the ones
the
that,
skinny line.
The skinny line.
Over there, Bloomingdale, that you be buying.
I know. I bought something.
I know.
I'm guilty. You got me.
Exactly.
I got some.
You can wear it when you're 156 pounds.
Yeah, 170, but
And
that's okay.
if you notice, you see that injury that happened last night? Now you know why Aaron Donald's sitting up on his couch. Now you know why Le'Veon Bell at home sitting on their couch.
And now I know why Odell is all about Odell.
Oh,
it's
stop.
building the brand. And you know what? He should be nominated for an Emmy. Should he not? Was that not Emmy-winning performance? Because I was captivated. I was riveted. I was edge of my seat. It was a convincing performance because I thought his season was over. Have you ever seen anything like that before? You're laughing because you know
because
it was the worst.
You talk
it's
about,
the kind of thing that when you were a player, you would have just scoffed at and ridiculed. Tough guy? Yeah, there we go.
I know you were at home. You were like, yeah. And Hazel was looking at you like, huh?
Huh? She was.
Yeah, she was like, I cannot believe you, Dad, that you would wish this.
She was.
Don't you want to face the Giants at full
Why are you
strength?
getting so worked up? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Skip, two things can be true here. This can be a legal play, but it can also be a bush league or dirty play. And I believe two things are at play here. This was very legal because you can hit the guy anywhere except the shoulder, neck area with any part of your body. But it was also very bush league and dirty because he could have injured a guy and he could have made another play and got the same result, which was tackling Odell Beckham.
So are you saying you're not going to defend the Emmy-winning performance? Because I don't think he was that hurt. I think he's just fine.
It wasn't your ankle.
Or my knee?
Or your knee.
Ankle or knee?
Or maybe you had a concussion. You don't know.
So this is the problem with the team that you have picked to win the NFC. It is built around a me player instead of a we player. And I remind you, that's the same Odell Beckham Jr. who led his receivers down to a little yacht club performance down in South Beach.
Will you ever let that go?
I will not, because that is one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen. They went to South Beach to prepare for a game, a playoff game at Lambeau Field the following Sunday. They went on Sunday night to get ready for the next Sunday afternoon at Lambeau.
So if Odell goes on and he ends his career with, say, over 1,000 catches, 120 touchdowns, and has a Super Bowl on his resume, will you continuously still bring this up?
No. I want to see him lead this team to the Super Bowl, as you say that they will, because I don't think he can do it.
I don't care.
I don't think a me player can do that.
I don't care if he's leading or he's riding the bus. I ask you a simple question. If Odell's career, when it's all said and done, has over 1,000 catches, I
want to see him lead the team to the Super Bowl before it's over. It should be this year, according to you.
I mean, Skip. So Michael Irvin didn't win the MVP. Emmitt Smith. So because when
you just brought up the MVP of a dynasty.
Can I ask you a question? Well, when
he was the leader of a team that should have won 4 straight Super Bowls. As you said yesterday, it's because Jerry fired Jimmy that they didn't win 4 in a row.
Can I ask you a question?
He was the leader. He was the rocket fuel.
In 93, when Emmitt Smith was holding out, and they had Troy, they had that big offensive line, and they had Michael Irvin, the playmaker. What did they start the season at, Skip?
0-2.
Well, hold on. Why wasn't the driving force? Why wasn't the driving force?
Super Bowl hangover. They just won the Super Bowl. What usually happens after that?
What happened? What happened when Deuce got back there?
When what?
When Deuce.
Oh, Deuce. Honestly, all your inside lingo.
Yeah.
By the way, I used to call him Emmy Smith because he had a lot of Odell in him.
Don't talk about my classmate like that.
He'd dive in the line of scrimmage and he'd just be like writhing on the ground, and Cowboy Nation say, "Oh, the season is over." And then he would miraculously just get back up.
Emmitt, my
melodrama, theatrics, Odell.
I ask you a simple question. When Deuce came back into the lineup, can you tell the people at home that weren't old enough to remember what happened with the Cowboys?
Michael Irvin started making huge third down catches that saved the day. Game in and game out. At Washington, at Philly, at New York.
If you don't mind me asking, who was the MVP that year?
Emmitt. Yeah.
Oh, the driving force.
No, the driving force of the team. I've told you this from the start. You ask anybody in that locker room, who did they follow? Emmett was a follower, not a leader.
Emmett was not a follower.
He was like you. He followed everybody.
Well, we followed each other down to Daytona once. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
His wife wasn't he talking. Me and Emmett was having us a good old time. Good old
Any
time.
secrets, Shannon?
Boat party?
Black College Beach weekend.
Beach weekend.
Woo! Joy had the spandex on. Joy had the spandex on. I was walking bow-legged, one leg, Joy.
After the game, Beckham said it felt like a sprained ankle, and he said he thinks he will be all right for Dallas.
I think he'll be okay.
I saw it last night, the little emoji. I was like, okay, Odell, okay.
He's okay?
Okay.
No mercy.
12 Cleveland Browns players kneeled during the national anthem before their game last night. Several other players placed a hand on the kneeling teammates' shoulders. Tight end Seth DeValve became the first known white player to kneel during the anthem, and he's married to an African-American woman. Let's take a listen to DeValve and the Browns explain their reasoning after the game.
I myself will be raising children that don't look like me, and I want to do my part as well to do everything I can to raise them in a better environment than we have right now. So I wanted to take the opportunity with my teammates during the anthem to pray for our country, and also to draw attention to the fact that we have work to do.
We got to unite in some way. It's too much hate in the world, and we just wanted to come together as men. We're all high-quality men who were taught, stand up for what you believe in. Everyone has different methods. This was our method, we're not, trying to disrespect the flag or, be a distraction to the team. But, as men, we have the right to stand up for what we believe in, and we demonstrated that.
Obviously, we put out a statement about that, and as I said 2 days ago, we respect our players. We respect the flag. Those guys came to me and talked to me about it before they ever made a decision to do it. So, again, that's the way I feel about it. And we've talked about this, and I said at some point in time they may, and they have, and so again, I won't know about the next game until it happens. But again, this was tonight, and we'll move on from there.
Shannon, what's your reaction?
Kudos. Now we cooking, Skip. Before we had a couple of guys using Pam. We got Crisco now. This thing about to get hot. Because I said this is what we needed. Michael Bennett said this is what we needed. We needed some white players. And Chris Long kind of got the ball rolling. And not only did he put his hands on Michael Jenkins, who was raising his fist, Chris Long told you why he did it. Justin Britt comes along, stand beside Michael Bennett, who's sitting on the sideline, told you why he did it, says he's going to learn more about, going to study Michael and want Michael to educate him and highlight him on what's going on. Derek Carr, this is how you do it, Derek Carr. That's what you was doing. You was cooking with Pam. You didn't get nearly hot enough. Seth DeValve showed you how it's done. And he said it, Skip. You said, you know why I did it? He says, because I'm going to be raising kids that doesn't look like me, that don't look like me. I am a white male in America. I get the benefits. I always get the benefit of the doubt.
Just for the record, he's married to an African-American woman, just so we get that straight. Okay?
I'm a white male in America. I get the benefit of the doubt. Skip, he said, the United States is the greatest country in the world. It is because it provides opportunities to its citizens that no other country does. Skip, what I said yesterday, right? As an American citizen, I get to heap praise on America because it's afforded me opportunities that I might not have had or even gotten in another country. But also as a citizen, I get to offer the harsher critique and criticisms of this great country when I see something that's not right. Seth DeValve says, hold on, wait a minute. This isn't right. This isn't right. And for Black, Skip, if you look at look at America, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of issues. You can say, okay, maybe it's the undocumented. There are certain segments that say the undocumented immigration, that's a problem. You got a segment that says, okay, it's health care. You got a segment that says tax reform. You got a segment that says it's Russia or Afghanistan or Iraq, North Korea. But I can assure you, Skip, in the African-American community, the interaction between the police, law enforcement, and unarmed black men and women, That interaction is a bigger concern. The race relationships between black and white in America is of great concern to us. And so self-disavow, Skip, as Ben Franklin said, only when the unaffected are equally as outraged as those who are affected will you start to see change. Now we got Justin Bredd, and we got Chris Long, and we got Self-Disavow. Self-Disavow, my new hero. I'm gonna get me a Browns jersey. Hope he make the team. I'm gonna get me a number 87. Skip, but this is what I found very interesting about what the Browns said. As an organization, we have profound respect for the country's national anthem, flag, and its servicemen and the servicewomen of the United States. The Browns wrote, "We feel important for our team to join the great tradition and special moment of recognition. At the same time, we also respect the great liberties afforded by the country, including freedom of personal expression." Now, they told you what the flag and the anthem and the great servicemen and women, what they represent, but they never told you why these 12 men, why they kneeled. Skip, why is it that everybody will talk about the gesture and they refuse to even acknowledge, yeah, you're doing it, but it's almost like we don't even care that you are doing it. We want you to stand. We want you to pretend like this is not even happening. I just find it so, everybody keeps saying, again, Skip, it's the gesture. Skip, if I wear a pink shirt, nobody's like, oh, he's just wearing pink. They know why, or they'll ask you why. Why won't they ask these young men what is hurting you so bad that what is a common thread around America at sporting events? Notice this only happens at sporting events, that the national anthem is played, that you're taking this line of action. Because they don't care, Skip. They don't care. They're unaffected by it. I'm so happy. And Hugh, I don't think Hugh really had the pulse of his team because he felt very comfortable this wasn't on their mind. Clearly, this has been weighing on their minds very heavily. And I am so glad that it happened. It's never going back, Skip, until the lawmakers and America sit down and says, you know what? It's too much smoke not to be any fire here. This race relationship between unarmed black men and women and the police and law enforcement is getting worse. We want it to get better. And these are the actions that we want you to take. Now we got your attention. We're going to try to go to Congress and going to talk about policy and how you deal with us on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. I have responses on several deeper levels to what just happened in Cleveland. First, to the statement you brought up. We keep seeing the same kind of statement from each team, and it has a but in the middle of it, but at the same time, but the but's not there. But it's an oxymoronic statement because it doesn't go together. We profoundly respect the flag, but we also respect the great liberties afforded by our country. Well, they go together.
Right.
I don't like they're together. There's no but in the middle of that statement. It should be an and, right?
That's what those servicemen and women, that's what they're fighting for.
Right. Okay. So I got you on that level. Now let's go to Hugh Jackson. Last week when he made his first statement, just kind of off the cuff, off the top of his head, I don't see us having any issue with protesting. You were extremely harshly critical of Hugh Jackson, and I was good with that. Rob Parker on our show was also extremely harshly critical, and I'm sure others around the country were very critical of Hugh's stance, other black commentators. So it was interesting to me that Hugh amended his stance, I think it was the next day, and basically said, hey, if they do come to me and want to, whatever they want to do, just inform me first. So they did. They informed him. But I think you're calling out Hugh Jackson also called into question that whole team. It put them all on notice. It put some pressure on that team. We got to do something. We got to show that we're going to stand up because our coach got called out because he's saying we really can't do that, right? Wasn't that what he said first?
Basically.
It will not be allowed, basically. So they stood up, or in this case, they knelt. As a group, there were 12 of them. But here's the new twist, and I thought it was a great new twist, a smart new twist. What did they do? They were, you didn't mention this, they were praying. Oh, wait, they're praying for this country, so they're kneeling in prayer during the anthem. Well, I got to tell you, I love that, but it's a little harder to condemn that, right?
Right.
You're praying during our national anthem. Oh, okay, so you're praying for our country. Well, that's pretty great, right?
Yes.
So is that more palatable for some white Americans? They were praying for our country, right?
Right.
Okay, so then to Seth DeValve, not exactly a household name until last night maybe, okay, but I can't give him huge props the way you did because he has some vested interest because he knows his kids are going to be mixed
right.
and they are going to be considered by many to be black. Is that not fair?
Yes.
Yes, okay? So he has some interest going forward that he's part of this circle.
Correct.
You know, he's involved. He's not just a white guy with no vested interest except to root for his black teammates and to champion a cause that needs to be championed in this country, right?
So how should I perceive other white players?
Where was the leader of that team? Where was he? Who's the leader of that team?
I don't know.
I do. It's the left tackle. He's the best left tackle in football. His name is Joe Thomas.
Okay.
He is the most outspoken of the Cleveland Browns. Where was he, Shannon Sharpe? Help me out. Was he there? Did he kneel?
No.
No. Okay. The problem with 12 kneeling is that it's kind of a group thing.
Yes.
But was it just a Bible study thing? I don't know. I'm just throwing this out because it came across. They all made the point. Every one of them made the point. We were praying.
Okay.
Okay. We weren't protesting. We were praying for this country. Where was the first overall pick in the draft? Myles Garrett. I'm just asking. That's what happens when just 12 of you kneel.
Right.
It calls into question, well, what about the rest of the team? Did they reject this proposition? Were they informed about it?
See, I think you're offering too harsh of a critical analysis because under that case, all the blacks didn't march with Dr. King.
Okay, but it makes me wonder because this is a team thing. They weren't all on the same team under Dr. King.
Right, but here's my thing. So what I'm supposed to believe now, but because Seth has a vested interest and these other guys don't have a vested interest, so in other words, you really don't give a damn about me if I can't score touchdowns or block for you. So my interests off the field don't matter with you. That's just lip service. When you tell me we're like brothers, you tell me we're like family, in other words...
Then you just have to believe what they say.
Oh, okay. But see, here's the thing, Skip. You find out a lot about a people in a moment of crisis.
Well, I told you a lot of this was, and even Seth brought up the point, this had a lot to do with Charlottesville, as I told you yesterday. For a lot of the white people, there was such shame involved and generated by Charlottesville. Yeah. Watching these groups protest, where it's just disgusting.
But here's the thing, Skip. Think about this, Skip. And it was what they were shouting. See, if they had not shouted that, would you be okay with the protest? Because here's the thing, Skip. I don't. You know what? If he found another way to do it, I might be willing to listen. So if they found some less harsh words, if they didn't say Jews will not replace us, would you have been okay with the protest? Because if it's the one word, so it's not the protest that upsets you. It's what they said while protesting that upset you. Because remember now, Skip, the first flag that you saw waving was the old American, red, white, and blue. And then here come the Confederate right behind it. And then here comes the Nazi flag right behind it. That's what I don't get, Skip. Look, in Charlottesville, I'm sorry that it happened. But we've been trying to tell you this has been happening in black community for 400 years.
These same groups have been demonstrating for years and years and years.
And let me ask you a question, Skip. The KKK came about in about 1865, 1866, maybe a little before, after, give or take. But why did it happen? Because once the South lost the Civil War, they wanted a way to steal and fear and terrorize the black communities. So not only did this prominent white terrorist group come to fruition, guess what also started, Skip? The advent of the Confederate monuments. Think about this, Skip. A side lost the war. They were treated as treasonous. They erect statues, and somehow it's a part of history. Well, you don't get to say, hold on, time out, wait a minute. All history isn't good history. If you want to remember those guys, build your big old building and put those Confederate monuments in there.
Right.
Have at it.
No mercy
Our next guest led Texas to the national championship by winning one of the most thrilling Rose Bowls ever. He was then a two-time Pro Bowler in the NFL with the Titans. Vince Young, welcome to Undisputed.
Thank you.
Welcome. It's been a while.
It's been a
Good
while.
to have you on Undisputed.
Big Skip.
So I made this point yesterday when we were discussing the future of one Jared Goff with the Los Angeles Rams. Obviously, Jared was coached last year, his rookie year, by one Jeff Fisher, who coached you in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And I made the point that Jeff Fisher has had a history of being tough on young quarterbacks, as in Vince Young quarterbacks, as in you were the, third overall pick in that draft in 2006. Especially hard on quarterbacks has been Jeff Fisher when he didn't want that quarterback drafted. I don't think he wanted Jared Goff, and I'm pretty sure he didn't want you drafted with that pick back in 2006. So how hard was Jeff on Vince in Tennessee?
Well, I mean, to the point of, I don't think he was hard on me. I think it was something internally from, I think Bud Adams wanted to draft me, and I think he wanted Matt Leinart. So definitely what you're saying is correct, but I really had a good time playing ball there. So, you know, the things that went on behind the scenes, you know, that was some tough things. That was something I had to learn because of the fact I didn't know, you know, that part of the game, of the business, or didn't know that he didn't want me there as well. So when I signed that contract, all I wanted to do was be a Titan and play football and win a Super Bowl. So that's kind of how I stepped into that position.
So as a rookie, you were the Offensive Rookie of the Year in the National Football League. And as a starter overall in Tennessee, you were 30-17. I'd say that's pretty decent, right? 30-17. But I thought Jeff was hard on you through and to the media because I thought you occasionally got undermined. There were incidents, you clashed occasionally, there were controversies, but still, the numbers are the numbers. 30-17 overall as a starter. And pretty soon after that, after your 5 years, you were pretty much out of the National Football League. How do you put that all in perspective? What happened?
Well, I don't know. I think it was more so off the field things that, you know, I had with financial advisors or business and things like that. I think that was the case of my brand, thinking the organization, you know, it's like as I tell young guys, just know the organization is investing a lot of money into you. So you want to make sure you have the right team off the field so you can be able to concentrate on football. And I feel like the organizations, the owners, and the coaches didn't think that I was focused enough, which I was, because every time, you know, like you said, the stats or me being, you know, the second string quarterback, I went out and performed. I really feel like the football field got me away from what was going on off the field. But, you know, what they said, I think, Vince, I think you need to take a year off and go get these things cleared up, which I did, and thank God I opened my eyes to see what was going on off the field. But at the same time, I don't really think it had nothing to do with my play because of, you know, my stats and things like that show, the number shows. So,
If you had it to do over again, what are the one or two things you would do differently, knowing what you know now?
Well, you know, the first thing is again, make sure I have the right team off the field and know that it's a business. So when I'm speaking to a lot of young guys, you know, that's the first thing I always tell them, that this organization is investing a lot of money into you. And, you know, it's not your tangibles and your talents and things like that. They know you have that, but it's the off-the-field stuff that they want to make sure, you know, they're investing into you, that you're taking care of that business, that aspect of that business, part of it.
You know, it got so bad, and forgive me for bringing this up, but it got so bad that Jeff indicated to the media that one Monday after a bad opening Sunday, I think it was, that you were contemplating suicide. Do you remember? Well, like, put that in perspective for me.
Well, it was just a story blown out of proportion. You know, a lot of people don't know I was watching that Monday or Sunday night game.
It's Monday, I think.
Yeah, I was eating chicken wings. When Brett Favre first went to Minnesota in that game, Aaron Rodgers was taking over. So I was watching the game, just enjoying life, but the bad thing I did, I left my cell phone at home. So everybody was trying to get in touch with me. And finally, when I got in touch with Coach, you know, he asked me to come to the facility. You know, he wanted to take a look at it, make sure I was okay. And I mean, it was just crazy when I got there. It was 8 police officers there. It was a negotiator there. I mean, they felt like I was trying to harm myself for some reason, and I felt like, to me, and it was media out there, and so I felt like, to me, it was kind of a setup, boy, and also it was kind of like Coach Fisher could have cut that off.
Right.
I agree.
When I said, Coach, I'm okay, Coach, I'm just relaxing.
Right.
And I just got away from the house. I got hurt that game.
Right.
So it was so many people in my house concerned, and which, thank you, and I appreciate it, but I'm one of those guys, I like to get off to myself and kind of relax and hang out with some of my friends, and then, you know, get back to what I was doing.
So you think Coach Fisher planted that seed?
Yeah, I mean, when you're dealing with the media, to me, and my brand and who I am, you know, it can get switched and changed to, you know, something that it ain't it, that it's not, you know.
Right.
And I've been dealing with that for you know, my whole entire career. And the perception that I cannot stand is I built my brand for a reason to be who I am. A nice young man, humble, goofy, enjoys life, love the game of football. And then when you say something about my brand or trying to ruin my brand, it really upsets me. So I have to go to war for my brand. I have to. So that's what I was trying to do. Whole time playing ball was trying to change the perception, what GMs and owners, what they had about me, because what, you know, Fisher put in grade.
Did you have that conversation with Jeff? Did you say, Coach, I think you went about this wrong. If there was some concerns, you could have called and voiced it to me before it getting out of hand like it did?
Correct. And you know, one of the things that I did to Coach Fish, you know, I actually sent him a letter and FedExed it to the Rams to let him know I really do apologize for being young and immature, and things like that. And thanks for, you know, teaching me some things, and I'm sorry that it had to end, you know, how it ended, because I really felt like we had a really good football team in Tennessee, and I think we was a couple of playoff games away from winning the Super Bowl. And I wanted him to know that, and I don't think, I mean, I never got a response back to him from him, but in the same time, I wanted to, you know, to let him know that, you know, I really do apologize for being a young, immature young man, and you know, and with the situation that happened and things like that. So, and I did that, and I was very proud of that. And after that, I kind of moved on from that situation.
So what has happened to you, in my view, because I was a fan of yours, obviously, before the draft, off your championship game, which I still say is the greatest individual. I know Deshaun Watson had a great one last year, and we went back and forth, and it's close. But what you did to that USC team, to go 30 of 40 and also run for 200 yards in that game and run for the winning touchdown and a 2-point conversion, I mean, that's
the year before it might have been better against Michigan.
Maybe. But this was for the marbles.
Right.
So to go from there and to have an overall record of 31-19, you even had one last hurrah with Philly that year in 2011, and you had a big win wasn't it at the Giants? Yeah, big. You led a late drive, hit Riley Cooper for a touchdown to win that game.
Yes.
And it's a tragedy to me that all that got, quote unquote, wasted, and I still have a hard time rationalizing what happened. Do you have any step back from it and say, was it just about your team, or what, did you not get the chance that other players would have got? I don't know what it is, but
all I know is, you know, I learned so much from, you know, the situation in my career that I had in the pros. It has, you know, molded me into a really special young man now that, you know, I can go out and speak to our younger guys, the upcoming guys that's coming up, high school kids, and say, hey, man, it's a business up there. You know, make sure you're taking care of your responsibilities, because it's always another quarterback. That's how they look at it. So you could be gone just like that. And I really feel like I was at the peak of my career, and then it started to, you know, go to you know, where I didn't want it to go. So right now, as I can say now, as I build it back to where it's at now, I'm truly happy about that. I'm still mad that I'm not playing ball, because I love the game of football.
you did take a shot at Canada, and it was ill-fated. You tore your hamstring?
Yeah, and that was fun. That was great being back out there with the guys. So, you know, things happen, but in the same time, like I always say, I mean, you learn from your mistakes and you know, things that you happen in life. But where I'm at today, I'm happy. I got my own businesses going on, you know, things and then I'm also having an opportunity to speak, you know, to talk to kids and talk to a lot of young men and NFL players as well. So where I'm at right now, I'm just happy, but in the same time,
So the football dream is over?
Well, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, you know, having an agent like Lee Steinberg, you know, he know what he's doing. So all I have to do is always stay myself prepared, You know, my man just showed a picture. Keep my
did.
body right, like that.
Wait, no, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up.
Skip, that between us.
Sharpe in the commercial break is showing pictures of himself without a shirt on, like 20 years ago.
I got to keep my body looking like that.
Glory days.
Onion. Skin like onion. Thin.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this about Philly.
Vince, you noticed they were all from like 7 years ago, 15 years ago.
Joy can't keep Joy. I've never seen somebody 5 foot tall embody so much hate, but that's okay. I love her to
See you
death.
sneaking pastries in the morning.
I can ask you this. You went to Philly and you said, this is a dream team. What happened?
Well, again, you know, took it out of proportion again. I mean, if you open your eyes, if you was Andy Reid at the time, and you look at your team when you have a team meeting and you see the guys we had in there, you know, from Samuel, from, you know, Mike Vick, myself, Shady McCoy, I mean, the list goes on. I mean, Sean Jackson, I mean, we had, it was stacked over there.
Y'all had just signed Nnamdi Asomugha?
Yeah, exactly. You know, so that's what I meant by not to the point. You know, so I made a mistake and they ran with it, told me up with it, but in the same time, we really did. And it started to show in the last couple of games of the season and how we were starting to mold together as a team. So, you know, that's what I meant by it. And Andy Reid, I have so much respect. I had to, you know, I stepped in front of the team meeting that day. I told the guys I really do apologize for starting that. But in the same time, in my eyes, this is a dream team. So. We had that talent.
We appreciate it.
Like these photos of mine, it was a dream team. I had a dream body.
Green team. Dreaming about it.
I had a dream body back in the day.
No mercy. Let's talk about 2 high-profile running backs. Ezekiel Elliott led the league in rushing in his rookie season, but he is facing a 6-game suspension for his alleged domestic violence incidents. Last season, Le'Veon Bell became the first player in NFL history to average 100 rush yards and 50 receiving yards per game in a single season, but he is currently holding out and has not been at Steelers training camp. We're joined once again by Eric Dickerson. Eric, yesterday you said that Le'Veon Bell is the best running back in the NFL. So please explain.
You know, I just love when I get to talk about running back. It never happens anymore. It never happens.
You know,
talk about me.
My
face, it never happens anymore. You know, Joe, I think that Le'Veon Bell is the best running back in football because of all the things he can do, inside, outside. He can catch the ball, he can block. He line up as a receiver. When you think about the guy that's after Le'Veon Bell, I think people kind of miss it. And I think, Skip, you're not going to like this, but my guy would have to be David Johnson out of Arizona. I think people forget about David Johnson. They really do.
So you got Zeke third?
I got Zeke third. Yeah, I mean, I like Zeke. Don't get me wrong, but I think the guys who can make it happen, you know, without a lot of help now, you know, he has a great coach in Coach Arians in Arizona. Yep. He has a older quarterback. Yep. I mean, an older quarterback in Carson Palmer. I mean, he doesn't have a Big Ben. He doesn't have a Dak Prescott, you know, but he's a talented guy. He can get outside. He can run inside. Same thing. He can line up outside. Yeah. Now, Zeke, to me, is the 3rd best back in the National Football League right now. I mean, so that's my opinion. I like my choices.
That is your opinion.
And once again, when I think about the Dallas Cowboys, Zeke is not the best player on that football team. It's Dak Prescott. I really believe. I've said this.
I will buy that.
He's the best player on that football team. Then comes Zeke. I think without Zeke, the 6 games, if he's out 6 games, I think they will still be okay. Yeah. So that's what I like.
You know what, Skip? I just want to know how many Hall of Famers, how many Hall of Fame running backs we're going to have to bring to this desk, and they tell you the very same thing I've been telling you for a year, that Le'Veon Bell is the best running back in football. Here's a man, the only man in NFL history to rush for over 2,100 yards.
That's correct. I made the case, what was it, a month or so ago? I said he's the greatest running back ever.
The only man to rush for 1,800 yards as a rookie. Now, he's telling you. Now, Skip, I'm not saying you should value the man's opinion, but a man that kind of got that kind of resume, shouldn't his opinion carry a little more value to it? I mean, you asked me about tight ends. Shouldn't I know a little something about that position? Just a tad. You, Skip, the patience. And I get it. I mean, sometimes I'm saying, Zeke, Zeke, if you don't hit this hole, he won't.
Le'Veon.
Yeah, Le'Veon.
Not Zeke.
No.
Le'Veon.
Yeah.
Hit the hole.
Thank you.
But he said, no, I got this, Shan. He said, I'm walking over here. Oh, that hole back over there. Touchdown. Oh, they said, Le'Veon. What they doing, they double teaming, because we ain't got Martavis Bryant, and they double teaming Antonio Brown. We need to put you out wide. Oh, I got you. What you want me to run? Yeah. You want me to run a comeback? I got that. You want me to
So
run the
wait,
over?
you got Pittsburgh back to the Super Bowl? I just want to know.
No, see, you see what you no, see,
We're talking about backs.
We talking about running backs. We ain't mentioning nothing about no Super Bowl prediction.
Yep.
Le'Veon Bell, the most complete. He's in that line of the Marcus Allens, the Marshall Faulks, the LaDainian Thomas,
Roger Craig.
You know, guys that can Skip. What you want him to do? Le'Veon Bell this year, Skip. He caught 75 balls and missed 3 games last year. Had 1,200-something yard rushing and missed 3 games. Now just think when he come, he gonna be fresh too. He's gonna be real fresh because you know he's sitting there with his feet on the couch.
What do I always try to explain to you? The greater the player, the worse the judge of other talent, because you're so great at what you do that you can't really see the forest for the trees like somebody who didn't play sitting over on this side of the table who's about to give you a Hall of Fame opinion. Because I'm going to give you the truth.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clearly, the best running back in football is the most special, the most gifted, the rarest that I've seen in quite a while, and that's Ezekiel Elliott, who he did as a rookie lead this league in rushing, so we got to give him that to start with. But mainly, we got to give him this. I always hear, well, Le'Veon can also catch the ball. I don't care, because I want a running back to do what a running back is supposed to do best and greatest, right? Run with the football. If I'm defending Le'Veon, I'm afraid he's going to make some first downs. If I'm defending Ezekiel Elliott, I'm afraid he's going to take it to the house a bunch of times, either running it or catching it. What happened at Pittsburgh last year when Zeke went up against Le'Veon in his house? Oh, wait a second. Zeke, dare I say, he actually caught a pass. It was just a screen pass.
Yeah.
He took it to the house. He went 83 yards with it. You know why? Because he's faster than Le'Veon. Let's just go back to the combine times and let's look at what, oh, wait a second. Le'Veon Bell ran 4.6 at the combine? That's not great.
Yeah.
That's not this man.
Yeah.
This man could fly.
But there are more 4.6 guys in the Hall of Fame than them 4.3 guys.
4.6.
Called football speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
But wait, Zeke ran 4.4. Oh, well, that's a little better. That's maybe it's a lot better because to my eye, Zeke hits the hole much quicker and much more explosively than Le'Veon ever dreamed of hitting the hole because, to your point, I often wonder, is he ever going to hit the hole? Does he tippy-toe enough for real? Seriously, he's disqualified just on tippy-toes.
No, he's not.
There's tippy-toes. You know it and I know it.
Skip, you going to make the man...
Did you fear him? You don't fear him.
Oh,
He's
you
going to
have
make
to fear.
some
Come on,
yards.
Come on, Skip.
You got to fear. Come on.
See, now you're going to make him come out with another video, Skip.
Okay.
You know he's going to come out with another song?
Okay, he did. He called me Shrimp Bayless in the last one. And he said he had one great line in the song. The only way I'd ever like him if he's played for the Spurs. That was funny. That was funny because I would
See,
like
he
him
knows
to
you.
play
He
for the
studies you,
Spurs.
Skip.
No, I appreciate that. But the point is, what happened at Pittsburgh? Who won the game? Who iced the game from 32 yards? Did he not hit that? There's a hole to hit.
Jarvis Jones.
Boom.
Made
Zeke. Boom. Before you knew what happened, he hit his head on the goalpost, right?
Because Jarvis Jones, the defensive
Game over.
linebacker,
9 seconds left.
Linebacker didn't do what he was supposed to do. Skip.
So
okay.
wait, Zeke just took over the game at Le'Veon? And you're telling me that Le'Veon's better? I don't get it. I just can't see it.
Okay, if the question was running back most likely to party on his off day,
That was
Zeke,
not the question.
The running back that's most likely to have something pop off if he's in the building, that's Zeke. But
What, do you want me to start in on Le'Veon off the field?
No. You got a point
Most
there. You got a
likely to
point
get
there now. He
suspended?
has a point there.
I mean,
he has a point.
I mean, look,
point.
hey,
You know, I'll say this.
trees ain't no thing. I mean, that ain't about to make that legal.
Speaking of visiting the marijuana dispensary, how about just getting suspended for smoking
That was
marijuana?
LeGarrette Blunt. LeGarrette Blunt had that. Le'Veon was just in the car.
Oh,
He was just riding the car.
Secondhand smoke.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. That's right. Okay.
I'll give you this. I believe that one day, you know, maybe even this year, Zeke will become the best running back in football.
Not after missing 6 games, he not.
Well,
He might.
Well, you'd be surprised. I mean, I'll say it again. Once again, I'll say this. I'm not a Cowboy fan.
You are.
But, no, I'm not. Trust me. I have to give them credit up front. Those guys they knock you off the ball.
Yeah, they do.
And Zeke does hit the hole fast.
Yeah.
But I still think that Le'Veon, overall, is the best back in football right now. Now, I'm
Just
not,
because he can catch?
No.
But Shannon always says, you can split him out like a wide receiver.
I'm not talking about.
What does it matter?
I'm not talking about he can catch.
I don't need to split out Zeke.
want to split him out. I want him to get 200 yards rushing and a 100 yards catching. That's what Le'Veon could do. But he can't do that.
That's like an indictment of your receiving corps. Why do you need him to split out?
Hold on. Oh, you saying so is Dez Bryant better than Antonio Brown?
No, I'm just saying. Why does Pittsburgh need to split out Le'Veon?
Because
don't they have enough?
Because we got mismatches. We fired.
Oh.
That's
now
what
you're a we. You're a Pittsburgh we.
I remember those days. Back in the day, they like, hey, Sharpe, go on out there and do him up. I know what you want, coach. You want a long touchdown, and you want me to do it methodically because I can run a comeback, or I can run a hitch, I can run a slant, or I can just run this go route.
But Skip has. I mean, you do have a good point. You know, like you say, a running back, you want a runner. I mean, and Zeke is that guy. He's a guy that can carry the ball 25, 30 times a game. But Le'Veon can do that also. He can do the same thing.
He can put his toe in there. He can do it.
Stop.
Well, does he not?
I say this more. I always say
you admitted it yourself. You say hit the hole.
But they said that about me. They said, man, you're not running fast. I said, get out here and try to catch me.
That is true.
Like, get out there and try to catch me. Get in front of me. You say, oh, my God, wait a minute.
And what they say, Edie, you run too upright. You got to run with some lean, Edie. You run it upright.
You run too high.
That neck row, hey.
Yeah. And by the way, I have to defend my man from South Texas because he's from Sealy, Texas.
Yeah.
That was Houston Oiler country.
That's right.
Am I right?
That was,
so
100%.
he is not a Cowboy fan by birth because he was South Texas.
Yeah, because you got a little Earl.
Oh, you have to love Earl.
Earl would give folk the business.
You have to. Scold, brother.
Skip, how many Hall of Famers need to come to this desk? How many running backs and tell you what I've been trying to tell you for a year? I ain't played running back since high school.
I don't remember anybody except you. Who else was there?
Everybody.
Everybody. I don't remember anybody.
All the Hall of Famers say is Le'Veon.
Yeah.
Well, he loves his Cowboys, and anybody wear that star.
I just love my eyes. I'm just doing the eye
test. I guarantee you this here. If Le'Veon played for the Cowboys, Le'Veon be the best running back in football.
Yeah.
He'd be the best running back.
Well, what do your eyes tell you?
My eyes tell me Le'Veon. You see them glasses he got?
You want the fast guy?
You want some?
He got the Hubble telescope.
You want the slow guy or the fast guy? So you want the slow guy?
I want the guy that can do it all.
Huh?
Skip, you don't get no bonus points for running fast.
Hey, you don't think they could split out Zeke and throw balls to him? They don't need to. They just hand it to him.
No, they can't.
Why not?
Because
he caught balls last year. He caught 32 passes.
Check downs and screen passes.
Well, you got to still be able to catch.
They are catches now.
Yeah.
I caught those too. I had 51 receptions my rookie year. Now we had a quarter.
Listen to this.
Look out now! Stop there, right? You got to stop right there now.
But no.
Think about it.
You didn't have no receiver.
We had Henrietta.
Yeah, that was it. What you talking about? We had. You see what he had his finger. We had Henrietta.
We were a running football team. We were running football team.
Just for the record, how many yards did you have in that playoff game against Dallas in Anaheim?
248, 3 touchdowns. Did I say that loud?
248?
Did I say that out loud?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, because you didn't have no receiver. See, if you had a receiver, you had one
stop nobody.
That was against Tom Landry's Dallas Cowboys. You had 248 playoff yards. Now that's impressive.
Yeah, well,
and he remembers.
They couldn't stop the run.
Huh?
So that's what makes you mad.
That's what you do.
Yeah. I used to tell them if they stop TD, we could throw the ball. But if y'all let the man get in 180 yards, 160 yards at the half, what y'all think we going to do in the second half?
Run.
Cowboys, he had that against the Cowboys. Had 124 yards on 2 carries against the Cowboys. How was I supposed to get my numbers that day? First 2 carries of the game.
Why is it always got to be about you?
Hey, I'm doing all this blocking, getting my arms and hands dirty, catch some passes.
No mercy.
We'll be live in Vegas on Thursday and Friday to get ready for the Mayweather-McGregor super fight. Come watch the show in the audience. We'll be right outside of T-Mobile Arena. Audience check-in starts at 5:30 a.m. Pacific time, and the show starts at 6:30, Undisputed, live from Vegas. We're joined now by the former welterweight champion, who famously said on this show that Floyd Mayweather couldn't crack an egg.
You like that quote, right?
By the way, since we saw this man, he actually scored a knockout in his bout of July 30th, I think it was, right?
Yes, sir.
A real-life knockout, which is something Floyd hasn't done since 1999 because he had a sucker punch knockout of this guy.
He's going to have one Saturday night.
Yeah? Oh, yeah, you better hope.
Well, Victor, welcome back to Undisputed.
Thanks for having me.
Congrats on the win. Earlier in the show, we talked about how boxing's reputation is at stake with this fight. Do you feel that way?
I don't think so. Boxing's been dead to people and to the eye of human or mankind for so long that I think numbers for sellouts and stuff like that, they kind of speak for themselves. But these are both two amazing sports, and I don't think either of them are affected or, you know, I don't see it happening.
Really? Yeah. So if Floyd, well, if he loses, number one, but let's just say it goes 12 rounds, goes to a decision, you don't think that'll be a disgrace for the sport of boxing, that he couldn't knock out this man?
You do tap a point. You do tap on a point there. But I don't know.
Hey, but here's the thing, though, Victor. You're looking at Floyd Mayweather, who's not a knockout fighter. If he was 49-0 with 42 KOs and he goes the distance, that's one thing.
That is.
But here's a guy that over half of his fight has ended with him going to the judge, the scorecards, and winning that fight. Right.
Yes, sir. He's a tactical fighter, so yeah, I'm with you there too.
You're gonna sit down on them, but he'll sit down on his punches in this one. Victor, tell him what happened when you sit down with them punches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he already told us. Yeah, he told us what happened. And by the way, we had Shane Mosley sitting in your chair on Friday. Was it Friday?
Yep.
Friday.
Yes. I love Shane. He retired, right?
He's way retired.
I love him.
And you want a piece of it?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's my idol.
Oh,
I was a
really?
kid. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's my idol. The number one guy I ever looked up to was Shane Mosley.
Well, your idol said that people underestimate the power of Floyd's punches. Yet you said you took 4 in a row and thought he can't crack an egg.
Yeah, at the same time, I can definitely attest on that, because if you're ready for the punch, like you said, you touched on it before, if you're ready for the punch, you can take it. But if you're not gonna be able to see, I don't see McGregor seeing the punches.
So when you're apologizing to the referee and you don't see that he's
But that was a different scene, man. I was this way. I was full intent that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you didn't see those because he got a running start and hit you as hard as he could.
Skip, you make it seem like the man run 100 meters and ran and hit the man.
It was like a javelin thrower.
Stop it, Skip. But here's the thing, okay? We understand that in MMA, you got to be good at a lot of different disciplines, and some of them are good strikers, but they don't see the speed or the angles in which a boxer of Floyd's caliber can throw punches.
I agree, because it's really not the same. I mean, many similarities, but if you're standing at an angle, well, right-handed angle, you going this way, you can hook it straight. At their end, I don't know. It's usually a kick or something to kind of stop and put you in the place. So I'm with you there.
So are you in the school of every boxer that we've had on, where you just think Conor McGregor will have 0 shot and it'll be a joke?
I mean, I think any man who wears a pair of boxing gloves has a chance. In this case, puncher, McGregor, may have a puncher's chance, but I just don't see it happening. Too much skill, too much talent on one end. Floyd, McGregor, I mean, it's pro debut, man.
He's never boxed professionally in his life. That's why boxing is a little bit on trial here, because if he does connect with that one unseen phantom punch that Cole Cox Floyd, I think it could happen.
Skip, he's throwing the punch from Reno.
Okay,
well, so slow when he's throwing the punch. Floyd's going to see it from a mile away.
He's going to be throwing a whole lot of punches unconventionally in ways that Floyd has never. You guys are all schooled. Like, Floyd didn't just write the book on boxing. He wrote the textbook on how to defend in boxing, how to avoid getting punched. Conor doesn't have any textbooks. He's going to come at it without boxing rules. Not that he's going to grab or kick, but he's going to throw stances, different karate stances or taekwondo stances or Greco-Roman stances, and he's left-handed, which always helps a little bit against Floyd. So it's unconventional approach. So what if he catches him once? It could be the death of boxing, right? But you think boxing's already died?
I mean, the fans think boxing died. I really don't see boxing dying, not through this fight or another one. I mean, when they had Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather, it was
huge.
The biggest thing since sliced bread, and then disappointed.
But all of a sudden, UFC is sliced bread, right? I mean, it's hot, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But can I talk? Let's talk. Okay, Conor is a southpaw, and normally a right orthodox fighter, which is a standard right with left lead, he stays away from the jab because he can get countered with the left. But I been watching some of Floyd's fight. When he fights southpaw fighters, his lead right is his jab. Why is that? Why is it so easy to hit a southpaw fighter with the right instead of the jab?
That is a southpaw's enemy right there, a straight right down the pipe, man, because that's what they have.
Ooh, Skip.
But if you can ignore that, a couple steps here and there, you can get away from that and counter yourself.
What are the odds that Floyd knocks out Conor? Again, not a knockout artist by trade, but what are the odds? This is his first professional boxing match.
I think he'll end up stopping him.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
TKO or KO?
TKO.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Stop him. I don't care why he stopped. Skip. Either you can have injury.
You're already on the record with a KO, a knockout.
Skip.
That means 8 count, can't get up, right?
Let me ask you a question.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you a question. Does it matter how your car put you downside the road? Maybe you had a flat.
Yeah,
Maybe the engine ran hot.
No,
maybe your transmission went out. All I know.
Well, I don't want to hear excuses.
You
already.
got to call AAA.
Pre-fight excuses.
Call AAA to come get you because you can't go any further. Wow. That lead right. It was textbook. Oh, he picked Gotti apart with it.
Yeah, this is
Toe
where
jab, Judah.
your engine blew.
Shannon Mitchell.
Yeah.
Woo. I mean, Ricky Hatton, poor Ricky Hatton. Oh my goodness, what he did to Ricky.
That's what's going to happen.
Oh, that's straight right down, woo, Broadway.
Here's what's going to happen. Victor Ortiz reaction. Wow. Did he hit me or not? I'm not sure.
No, he won't see it.
Did he hit me?
No.
Can't even crack an egg.
Victor said,
Right?
hold on. Now, there's two boxers. Now, two boxers have said. Shane Mosley said, if he see a punch coming, he's not going anywhere. Victor Ortiz also said, if he knows the punch is coming, he's not going anywhere. Both said it's that one that you don't see.
Okay.
That shot.
Shot.
When you sit down on a punch, when you sit down with a big.
Wait, did I just get bitten by a mosquito on my
Big, how you sit, big. You turn the things over. Ain't no this.
Don't pop that jacket.
Ain't no this right here.
Careful.
You see O'Connor. He like this, it's so tight. Floyd be sitting.
We gotta leave it there. Victor, thanks for joining us.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.